Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English E Studio. I'm Emily, and I'm so happy you're here for another English conversation practice. Today's topic is something we all care about: health. Whether you're talking about feeling good, feeling sick, visiting a doctor, or giving advice to a friend, health is a big part of daily conversations.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul. Yes, talking about health is such an important skill in English because it's part of everyday life. You might need it when chatting with friends, filling out a form, or explaining your symptoms to a doctor. So today we'll help you sound confident, natural, and polite when discussing health and wellness.
Let's start simple. When someone asks, "How are you?" we often just say, "I'm fine, thanks." But sometimes you want to be more specific. Maybe you're tired, have a headache, or you're feeling great. You can say, "I feel good," or "I'm not feeling well today."
Right. And it's nice to ask others how they're feeling too. For example, how have you been lately? Are you feeling okay? You don't look so well. Are you all right?
Those are polite ways to show care. And if you want to sound more casual, you can say, "How are you doing?" or "Everything okay?"
Let's give some examples with different answers.
Emily, "How are you, Paul?"
I'm good, thanks. A bit tired, though. Didn't sleep well.
"Oh, I know that feeling. Maybe you need to rest more."
Yeah, I'll try. How about you?
"I'm great. Went jogging this morning, so I feel fresh."
That's a very natural exchange. Notice how we added small details. Tired, didn't sleep, went jogging to make it more real.
Exactly. Now let's teach some common phrases for describing health problems.
Sure, if you're not feeling well, you can say, I have a headache, I have a sore throat, I have a cold, I have a cough, I feel dizzy, I feel weak, I have a fever.
And sometimes we use "my" instead of "I have." For example, "My stomach hurts." "My back aches." "My leg hurts."
Yes, and notice the difference between ache and hurt. Ache means a kind of pain that continues, like toothache or stomach ache. Hurt means any pain. My arm hurts. I hurt my knee.
Good explanation. Let's practice pronunciation. Say it with me: headache, backache, toothache, stomachache.
Great. And sometimes we use phrases like, I'm not feeling well, or I think I'm coming down with something. That last one means you're starting to get sick.
Exactly. Coming down with something is a soft way to say you feel you might be getting a cold or fever.
Here's a short example. Emily. Hey, Paul, you look tired. Are you okay?
"Yeah, I think I'm coming down with a cold."
Oh, no. Take some rest and drink lots of water.
Speaking of that, let's also learn how to talk about feeling better. You can say, "I'm feeling much better now," or "I'm recovering."
Or I'm on the mend, which means you're getting better after being sick. It's an idiom and sounds very natural.
I love that phrase, "on the mend." Let's use it in a sentence. "I was sick last week, but I'm on the mend now."
Perfect. And if someone tells you they're sick, it's nice to respond politely. You can say, I'm sorry to hear that, or hope you feel better soon.
Yes, kindness is always part of good communication. For example, A, "I've got a terrible headache." B, "Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. You should take some rest."
That sounds caring and natural.
Now let's talk about visiting the doctor, something we all have to do sometimes.
When you go to a clinic, you might say, I'd like to see a doctor, please, or I'd like to make an appointment.
And when you meet the doctor, they might ask, "What seems to be the problem?" Or, "How can I help you today?"
You can reply with sentences like, I've been coughing for 3 days, I have a sore throat, I'm feeling dizzy, I have pain in my lower back.
And if the doctor asks how long it's been happening, you can say, since yesterday or for about a week.
Exactly. Time expressions are important. Let's practice a sample conversation.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. What seems to be the problem?
I've been having a fever for 2 days and I feel very tired.
I see. Do you have a cough or sore throat?
Yes, a little cough.
All right, I'll check your temperature.
Thank you.
You probably have a mild infection. Take this medicine twice a day and drink plenty of fluids.
Okay, doctor. Thank you very much.
That's a very typical doctor-patient conversation. Polite, short, and clear.
Yes, when the doctor gives advice, you often hear phrases like, take one tablet after meals, get plenty of rest, drink lots of water, come back in a few days if it doesn't get better.
And it's important to understand words like prescription. That's the paper the doctor gives you to buy a medicine.
Exactly. You can say, I need to fill my prescription or I have to go to the pharmacy.
Speaking of pharmacies, let's talk about how to communicate there.
Sure. When you go to a pharmacy, you can say, I'd like to buy some painkillers or do you have anything for a cough?
The pharmacist might ask, do you have a prescription? Or would you like tablets or syrup?
And if you want something simple like vitamins or bandages, you can ask directly, where can I find vitamin C? Or can I get a pack of bandages, please?
Don't forget politeness. Always say please and thank you.
Of course, manners always make a difference. Now let's talk about staying healthy, not just being sick. How do you talk about good habits in English?
Great question. You can say, I eat healthy food. I try to exercise regularly. I drink lots of water. I get enough sleep. I avoid junk food.
And if you want to talk about mental health or emotions, you can say, I've been feeling stressed lately. I'm trying to relax more. I feel much happier now.
That's right. Health isn't just about the body, it's about the mind too.
Exactly. Let's make a conversation about daily healthy habits.
Emily, how do you stay healthy?
I try to go for a walk every morning. Fresh air really helps.
That's great. I usually do yoga or stretching after work.
Nice. Do you eat a balanced diet?
Mostly yes. I eat fruits and vegetables every day, and I try to avoid too much sugar.
Good idea. I should do that too.
See how natural that sounds? You're sharing experiences and giving advice in a friendly way.
Speaking of advice, let's learn some useful phrases to give suggestions about health.
You can say, you should take a rest, or you should see a doctor.
Or, why don't you drink some ginger tea? Try getting more sleep. Or, it might help if you exercise.
These are gentle, polite ways to give advice, not too direct, but still helpful.
And if you want to be softer, you can say, maybe you could, for example, maybe you could take a short walk every evening.
That sounds very natural. Now let's practice a quick dialogue with health advice.
I've been feeling really tired lately.
Maybe you're not sleeping enough. You should go to bed earlier.
Yeah, that's true. I've been staying up late.
Try turning off your phone an hour before bed. It might help.
That's a great one, practical and polite.
Another way to talk about health is by asking questions about habits. For example, how often do you exercise? Do you eat breakfast every day? Do you drink enough water?
And possible answers could be, I exercise 3 times a week. Yes, I always eat breakfast. Not really. I need to drink more water.
These are great for everyday small talk or even at the doctor's office.
Exactly. Doctors often ask, do you smoke? Do you drink alcohol? Or how many hours do you sleep?
And being able to answer clearly helps you communicate better.
Let's also cover some common idioms and expressions about health.
Great idea. Here are a few. Under the weather means you're not feeling well. As fit as a fiddle means very healthy. Run down means tired and weak. Back on your feet means recovered.
Let's use them in sentences. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. My grandfather is 90, but he's as fit as a fiddle. I've been working too much. I feel run down. She was sick last week, but she's back on her feet now.
Excellent examples. Idioms make your English sound natural and fluent.
And one more, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's an old saying meaning healthy eating helps you stay well.
True. It's simple but smart advice.
Repeat after us. Headache. Fever. Medicine. Doctor. Exercise. Healthy. Cough. Sneeze. Excellent job.
You're improving with every lesson.
Now, let's imagine a short, friendly chat between two coworkers talking about health at work.
Hey, Paul, you look tired. Are you okay?
Yeah, just a bit of a headache. I think I need more sleep.
You should take a short break. Maybe get some fresh air.
Good idea. What about you, Emery? How's your health?
Pretty good. I've started doing yoga, and it really helps me relax.
Nice. I might try that too.
See? Natural, easy, friendly. That's what everyday English sounds like.
Exactly. Talking about health doesn't have to be complicated. It's about showing care, describing how you feel, and giving simple advice.
And that's what makes conversations human. We connect through care and empathy.
You know, Emily, it's interesting how small habits make such a big difference in our health.
Absolutely. People often think staying healthy means doing something huge, like joining a gym. But it's really about small, consistent steps, like walking more, drinking water, and sleeping enough.
Yes, for example, taking a 20-minute walk after dinner helps digestion and improves mood. It doesn't sound like much, but it's powerful.
And stretching in the morning, even for 5 minutes, wakes up your body and boosts your energy.
Exactly. Let's teach some expressions people can use to talk about exercise routines. You can say, I go jogging every morning. I do yoga 3 times a week. I like swimming on weekends. I work out at the gym after work.
And if you want to talk about why you do it, you can say, I exercise to stay fit, or I work out to reduce stress.
That's right. Exercise isn't just for fitness. It's great for mental health too. When you move your body, you release stress and feel more positive.
Exactly. Many people say, I exercise to clear my mind. It's a beautiful phrase. It means you feel calm and relaxed afterward.
Let's make a short conversation about exercise habits. Emily, do you like going to the gym?
Not really. I prefer outdoor activities like hiking and cycling.
That's great. I enjoy yoga and Pilates. They help me stay flexible.
Nice. I might try that too.
Haha, sure. Maybe a 10,000 steps a day challenge.
That's fun. And it's actually a great way to motivate yourself.
Yes, talking about health in English often includes motivation. For example, I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm trying to eat healthier.
Let's teach a few phrases you can use when talking about diet and food choices. I'm cutting down on sugar. I'm trying to avoid fried food. I've started eating more vegetables. I'm drinking green tea instead of soda.
Perfect. And if you want to sound casual, you can say, I'm watching what I eat, meaning you're being careful about your diet.
That's a good one. Or I'm trying to eat clean. It means you're choosing natural, unprocessed food.
Let's have a dialogue using these. Emily, Paul, you've lost weight. What's your secret?
I've been watching what I eat. No sugary drinks, no fast food.
Wow, that's great discipline.
Thanks. I also started cooking more at home. It's healthier and cheaper.
Good idea. Home-cooked meals are the best.
Definitely. And it's a great topic for small talk, too.
Speaking of diet, let's talk about how to describe how food makes you feel. You can say, "This meal makes me feel full." "I feel bloated after eating too much." "I feel energetic when I eat fruits." "Junk food makes me feel sleepy."
And if something doesn't agree with you, maybe it upsets your stomach, you can say, "This food doesn't sit well with me," or "I'm allergic to seafood."
That's a very important one. Allergies are a big topic. You can say, "I'm allergic to nuts," or "I can't eat dairy."
Yes, and if you're at a restaurant, you can politely ask, "Does this dish contain peanuts?" Or, "Can I get it without cheese?"
That's polite and clear. Health and politeness go hand in hand when eating out.
True. Now, Emily, let's talk about mental health, something we all should care about.
I agree. People often talk about physical health, but emotional and mental well-being are just as important.
Exactly. Common phrases include, "I've been feeling stressed lately." "I'm trying to relax more." "I need a mental break." "I feel anxious sometimes." "I've been focusing on self-care."
And it's important to talk about it openly. For example, "I've been feeling down" means you feel sad or low energy. It's softer than saying "I'm depressed."
That's right. And when you comfort someone, you can say, "I understand," or "I'm here if you need to talk."
Those words really matter. Let's do a quick dialogue about that. "Emily, you seem quiet today. Everything okay?"
Yeah, just a bit stressed about work.
"I get that. You've been working really hard lately."
Thanks. I think I just need a break.
"You should take some time off. Go somewhere peaceful."
That's a good idea. I might take a walk this evening.
Perfect. Fresh air always helps.
See, talking about health doesn't just mean sickness, it means caring for your whole self.
Exactly. Body, mind, and soul, all connected.
And that's why learning these English expressions is so helpful. You can describe your health, ask questions, and connect with others naturally.
So, next time someone asks, "How are you feeling?" you'll have so many more ways to answer than just "I'm fine."
Right. You can say, "I feel energetic today," or "I'm a bit tired," or "I'm recovering from a cold."
Each phrase helps you express yourself better, and that's what good communication is all about.
Couldn't agree more.
So keep practicing these conversations, repeat the examples, and notice how health words appear in daily life, on TV, in ads, or in casual talks.
The more you listen and repeat, the more natural you'll sound.
Exactly. Practice makes progress.
And remember, taking care of your English is a bit like taking care of your health. Do a little every day, and you'll see great results.